Hello from Cowshot and welcome to Inside Out, where we're marking a special anniversary. But here's what else is coming up tonight. With 5 suicides in the last year alone, we ask what can be done to stop false prize promise letters from ripping off our loved ones.
She overdosed on antidepressants and tried to kill herself and left me a note saying, "I don't know how you're going to bury me because there's no money."
I'm John Cuthill and this is Inside Out for the South of England. First tonight, prize promise letters. Our Inside Out investigation got a huge response and you're still emailing us your stories. Tonight, we ask if anything else can be done to stop the misery that's being delivered to our doors.
Dear Mrs. Elizabeth, I have hastened to write to you because the time is very important for you. You must read what follows very carefully because it concerns you personally. You and you alone. I love letters. I love receiving letters, which I do, because it's an interest, if you know what I mean.
When 87-year-old Elizabeth was widowed, she started replying to prize promise letters, and it wasn't long before she thought she'd hit the jackpot.
Last December, I won a prize of £130,000, so they said. So I wrote in to claim it.
But it wasn't as simple as that.
You had to buy something. Every time I sent a letter, I had to buy something. And this is how they held my, they held me in a vice kind of thing. This is a parcel from Derma. Creams I bought in desperate hope I'd get my cheque. And they cost me a small fortune.
Elizabeth has spent most of her pension trying to claim her £130,000 prize, which she still believes she's going to get.
I have great trust in people. I'm a Christian. I have faith, a lot of faith in people. I never give up.
These are the sorts of letters that are sent to people like Elizabeth, falsely promising prizes, and the government is starting to take notice. At the beginning of this year, MPs met to debate the issue.
It is absolutely my belief that government takes this matter seriously.
What we're talking about here are very cleverly customised scams very often.
Once scam mail has entered the UK postal system, Royal Mail have a legal obligation to deliver it.
Once a scam comes to light, the victim, or in many cases the victim's family, experience a large range of emotions: anger, shame, upset, and in some cases where the loss has been so big, suicidal thoughts, and indeed, as we heard on today's television this morning, 5 suicides last year alone.
The warden found her. She had her head in the cat litter tray. She overdosed on antidepressants and tried to kill herself and left me a note saying, "I don't know how you're going to bury me because there's no money."
Ruth's 77-year-old mum is now recovering at home after her attempted suicide. She didn't want to be identified in our investigation, so we'll call her June. June is bombarded with up to 30 pieces of scam mail a day and numerous telephone calls.
Before next Friday for the issue of the cheque for £8,100 by the Delis & Gourmandise Company.
Well, she sold everything, and I think it must be in the region of £500,000.
She's got all this stuff she doesn't need for no reason, just for the hope that she's going to get put into another drawer somewhere to get some money. There's nothing in the cupboards food-wise. There's pumpkin beauty supplements, all this rubbish. My dad came in after the warden had found her. He came into the flat and discovered the suicide note after the ambulance crew had shown it to him. And he discovered that the pictures of me and my brother throughout our lives had been placed face down or put into the corner or in a drawer through like the idea that so we couldn't see what she was doing to her, even though it was their only pictures. So obviously she was mentally there and she knew what she was doing. and she tried to like protect us in a way.
While we were filming, June's postman delivered yet more scam mail.
I've been a postman for 20 years, so you sort of get used to it. But there seems to be more of it now, knocking about. I feel sorry for the elderly people, or the ones who the mail's been taken, the money that's been taken from, yeah. But really, like I said, I'm just delivering it. Not a lot I can do, really, is there? Something should be done about it, but I don't know what the answer is.
We've spoken to several posties across the south. Every one of them has told us of their frustration when it comes to trying to stop scam mail.
When I speak to postal workers, they always make the point to me that they know who the victims are on their rounds and they would love to be able to do something to stop it. Currently, there isn't legislation that enables Royal Mail to identify which is scam mail and which is not, and actually it's really easy to tell the difference, and they can't act to stop this mail getting through. I think there needs to be a change in legislation so that Royal Mail can be part of the solution, not part of the problem.
Here at Royal Mail's largest sorting office in the UK, billions of letters are processed every year, millions of which will be scam mail. So would a change in legislation help protect people like Elizabeth and June?
We really don't need more law. There is enough law, there are enough powers across the agencies that can police the mail and can police fraud. It's not an issue of power, it is an issue of the fact that we need to know exactly what's coming in, and we need the right people to make a value judgment and advise us where there's something illegal taking place. If we're aware of that fact, we will respond to it. And we are not lacking in the power to do so. We're merely lacking in intelligence from time to time.
We have plenty of evidence that some mail-order companies are sending out false prize promise letters. In fact, a Belgian court ordered that Vital Beauty would be fined €100 for every letter it continued to send out. But they just changed their name to Vital Nature and carried on. And as for Royal Mail, well, they continue to deliver these fraudulent letters.
Why do you think we still have this problem? It's not a new problem. The company and the prize promise scheme we've been investigating, we've been following for years, and here we are saying, well, I need evidence. It almost sounds like you're catching up.
Well, I don't know about catching up. The difficulty that we have is that this is a fraud which is perpetrated because of the quality of our service, ironically, relatively quickly. And I will also say that, of course, these sorts of frauds are not in any way unique to the postal service. So they're the same sorts of frauds as a boiler room scam involving telephone calls. They're the same sorts of frauds as internet, email, and phishing frauds.
It doesn't justify them. I know, of course, there's lots of different frauds, but let's sort out the ones that you can affect.
The point I'm trying to make is, there has always been fraud, and we have always attempted to counter it.
You say you will take action, but you need information to take action on. I find it incredible that no one's come forward.
I am honestly saying to you that if I'm given information on any of the frauds that you have knowledge of, we will look into every single one, because I suspect that many of them are similar. We will look into every single one, we will work with agencies, and we will make sure that we take every possible step to counter these.
But postmen and women say they have no difficulty in spotting these scams. The envelope alone is a big enough clue.
To be honest, it's all plastered over the front cover normally. Absolutely, yes. All sorts of names, advertisement, quick, follow the deal now, £400,000, take it, phone up, all that type of stuff. It's easy to identify, absolutely.
But the bosses seem to have a lot more trouble identifying what is scam mail and what isn't. They've asked to see it, so here it is.
Meanwhile, Elizabeth is still clinging on to the hope that her £130,000 prize is on its way.
Oh, that's mine. That's my letter.
A few months ago, Elizabeth wrote to the company who had promised her cheque.
Dear Sir, my profuse thanks for my prize. At last, I am getting my prize.
But Elizabeth is about to have her dreams of a windfall crushed. Her unread letter was rescued from a bin by a whistleblower at a Hampshire firm. The business acted as a middleman between foreign companies falsely promising prizes and their victims. Since our last investigation, Emery has stopped working for at least one such company. But it's come too late for Elizabeth. The reality of what she's been sucked into is just sinking in.
I could cry. could cry. Jake! Come on. Good boy.
Every year, nearly £2.5 billion is conned out of scam mail victims like Elizabeth, who trusted the post delivered by Royal Mail. For years, various authorities have known about this deceit, and postmen like Rob would dearly like to see action taken.
To be frank, we don't feel we should be obligated to deliver the stuff, because we see the customer every day, and we don't want to see any fallout from something we deliver. To a certain extent, we feel personally responsible.
And don't forget, if you think you've been a victim of a scam, the same or a different one, email me, john.cuthill@bbc.co.uk. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later in the year.
If you've been affected by our story on scam mail, let Royal Mail know about it. You can call their hotline on 08456 113 413. Or you can drop them an email, scam.mail@royalmail.com.